Hey Boo Buddies, it's time for March Plan with Me SetUp, and this month I am doing a lot of things that are not my normal. Let's start with the theme of this month, which is, for me, the month of March. I am doing cats. And if you have been following my other videos, my little journal in the dark and whatnot, my cat had a little scare in end of January into February, and he is still with us when this video has aired. But cats have been on my mind, and I am just keep going with the cat theme. But also, March happens to be Children's Book Appreciation Month, whatever, because it is the month of Dr. Seuss's birthday. So, famous Cat in the Hat as well. So, I'm kind of just running with that spoofy boof. I'm doing a minimal color scheme this month. I'm only using black and some white, and then red. So really 3 colors, but mostly only 2 for the month of March. As you know, I do not do cover pages every month, and mostly because I don't see a need to do that. It's a lot of aesthetic that is really fun, and I really appreciate watching people do it on their channels when they do it. But in my planner, my working day to day, pages need to function, and if they don't, I don't flip back to them, so there's no real point in spending time and energy on them. That is my personal thing. I am not criticizing anybody if that's your thing. So my month at a glance calendar is also my cover page, and that is pretty normal. So far it seems pretty normal. So what I have done is I'm going to go ahead and do kind of a 1-page with spillover, so 2-page month spread at a glance, and decorate with 3 kitten cat things, all black, and some balls of yarn, which here will be all black. And I will do some red accents because I decide that I need more color in this. Originally it was just going to be all black and white, but it needed some color. I went with red and then embraced the whole Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat, but kind of a draw this in your style thing. So this is not supposed to look Dr. Seuss inspired. This is supposed to look me inspired, but there's some you'll be able to see at the end. There's some Dr. Seuss influence as. So doing a cover whole month layout like this, you will notice that I don't have room to put my monthly goals. And originally I was thinking I would have the spools of yarn that I'm filling in with black, and I would put in my goals on the yarn, but no, it just didn't look right, and it didn't feel right. And with the black, and the circle shape, it kind of limits the amount of text that you can put in there, and it was not working. So new idea, new plan, moving on, but we'll get to that. So right now I'm just doing 3 kittens that are hiding, they are interacting on the page with the yarn, and I am going to add, so now this is where I add the red accent, and this is a metallic permanent marker. So I was worried that it was going to ghost or bleed through on the other pages, but this notebook, it's doing okay with the metallic marker. Something about metallic Sharpies doesn't bleed as much as other Sharpies. And then I just went with my Uniball gel pen in white to go and add the texture on on the yarn so that it actually looks like yarn and not just black balls. And then the eyes and some definition on the kitten silhouettes. So that is going to be my carry through this month, is these 3 kittens and the balls with the red and black that is going on. And so now is where we get into the weird, the I have never done this before, and this is not normally what I do, but I wanted to shake things up, try things. You have to try things so that you know what you like and what you don't. So this layout that I'm going to do this month is it's kind of simple, but it's also kind of complicated, and it's just going to take a little bit to explain and work through. It took a little bit of back and forth, but stick with me. Okay, so what I am doing is I'm taking those circle shapes that represent the spools of yarn, the yarn balls, and I am making little windows throughout. So all 5 weeks of March, because there are 5 weeks in March, the way that I lay out my monthly are going to have this little window. So I have to cut these windows and then plan what's going to be on the first week and on the last week, and you'll see at the end it will make sense, but first I have to do is I have to cut these holes. So I cut the big hole, and then I cut a small hole and then a medium hole. So there's 3 circular windows that are going to go throughout the whole month. And these are going to be what would normally be on my monthly cover, where I put my goals for the month and my tracker for the month. This is going to just go throughout all the weeks, and it takes a minute to cut through 5 spreads, but also they're circles, so that was a bit frustrating and complicated. So I have a little mini cutting mat that helped out a lot with the X-Acto knife and whatnot, but it was tedious, it was time consuming, and the circles all match up, but they are not wonderfully perfect, as you will see, but it works. It totally works. So in the little hole, I'm gonna put my title, which is on the last spread. This is gonna be my goal. So on the right-hand side of every week, I'll be able to see that these are where my goals go. And on the other side, so on my first week, it will be my package tracker. So all the packages that I have coming. So I used the red Sharpie to kind of give accents around each of the windows so that it kind of pops a little, but also this is the only place I could really do the color. And even though the balls of yarn are black on the month at a glance / cover page thing, the red made more sense because there's less of it. This was a stronger ink, and it really was the only other place to really put the pop of color. So this was a little time consuming and a little back and forth, but totally makes sense at the end. I swear it makes sense at the end. So I'm gonna start in the middle with my first weekly spread. So my first weekly spread is actually like my 3rd weekly spread in the month of March. So like I said, this gets complicated. There's a lot of back and forth going on, but it all comes together at the end. I swear. So I like a vertical layout with my day-to-days. I'm not real big on the horizontal. My brain gets lost if to-do lists go side to side instead of up and down. So I like a lot of space, and I have my day-to-day, and then normally I would have a dashboard where these circular windows are. But because the circular windows are there, I don't have my dashboard. So I have to break up my day-to-day to get what would normally be in my dashboard. So I have 7 vertical lines going left to right, and then in the leftover space on the far left, that's going to be my dashboard where my categories are. So my posting schedule is the top section, and then my day-to-day projects are going to be in the middle, largest section. And then where does my habit tracker go? If you follow my channel, if you've seen how I do my normal setups, I don't like flipping back and forth for my habits. I like to just keep it on the same day and tick off whether or not I do things or not. So my habits got condensed down to a day-to-day thing, and I'm not sure that's the right move in the future, but that's what ended up happening. And you know what? We can say we tried it now. I decided to use one of my Tombow brush blender pens that is in the grayscale line to break up the white space so that it's a bit more not just black lines on white paper. And I went with the stripe, that pattern that really brings back that Dr. Seuss stripies, and I was not precise on them because if you like Dr. Seuss, you know that his illustrations are a bit scribbly, and that is part of his charm. So I was not very precise with the shading and just went with the candy cane stripy look. As I said, the two small and big windows have my goals on the right-hand side and then my package tracker on the left-hand side, but then that leaves the middle window. So on the right-hand side, I picked a quote from Dr. Seuss that reads, "Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living," which was one of the shorter quotes from him that would fit, that I liked. He has a lot of good quotes, but they do tend to be a bit on the longer side. And then I flip back to my first week. See, there's a lot of flipping back and forth with this complicated kind of window thing that I went with. I'm adding back in the kittens. And the kittens there will be 3 kittens on every week, and they will be mostly in a different position. So for this first week, I went with one kitten dangling a string and the other kitten batting at it. And the third kitten will go in the other side of the window opposite of the quote. If you're wondering about the little Dr. Seuss washi tape at the top of the paper, that is because a couple of the pages tore at the window. And you know what? That's part of bullet journaling, is you try things, you try and be creative, and sometimes it tears. And so I needed to just hold it together while I finished putting in the kittens and doing everything. And then at the end, I go back in with some clear cello tape and just patch it up. And it looks fine, and it doesn't bother me, so I don't know why it should bother you. At this point, I have done my week 1 spread, my week 3 spread, and it's time to go and fill in all the other weeks. There's 5 weeks in March, the way that I have my month broken up, with starting on Sundays. Just gonna make the kittens be in a different position each week and get all the layouts done, and with all the little gray accents, and you'll be able to see the Cat in the Hat sleeping kitten and the quote on each page. So that is my March setup. It's really simple. It took a lot of complicated planning, but it really was worth it at the end, and I had a lot of fun hiding the kittens and interacting them with the windows on each week. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one, Boo Buddies. Bye!